Assalamualaikum everyone and welcome back to my channel again. So I am here after a very long while presenting you another information about the planetary system. So today's planet is Saturn. Saturn, this planet is famous. As we know since our childhood, this planet is very famous for its enormous and gorgeous rings that are revolving all the time around this planet. Besides that, it has its own moon system. It is also called a gas giant. For its rings, it is also called a ringed planet. So many of the people think that these rings are the solid objects, but that is not true. To know more about that rings, its moons, its research and exploration, its history on our ancient astronomers. So watch this video till the end, and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, then please do subscribe my channel and support me by following me on the social accounts. So let us proceed to the video. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and the second largest planet in the solar system. It is the farthest planet from Earth that is visible to the naked human eye. But the planet's most outstanding features is its rings that are better viewed through a telescope. Although the other gas giants in the solar system, that are Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, have also rings, Saturn's rings are particularly prominent, earning it with the nickname the ringed planet. Now, what are the physical characteristics of Saturn? Saturn is a gas giant made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. Saturn's volume is greater than 760 Earths, and it is the second most massive planet in the solar system, about 95 times Earth's mass. The ringed planet is the least dense of all the planets and is the only one less dense than water. If there were a bathtub big enough to hold it, Saturn would float. The yellow and gold bands seen in Saturn's atmosphere are the result of superfast winds in the upper atmosphere, which can reach up to 1100 miles per hour or 1800 kilometers per hour. Around its equator, combined with heat rising from the planet's interior, Saturn rotates about once every 10.5 hours. The planet's high-speed spin causes Saturn to bulge at its equator and flatten at its poles. The planet is around 75,000 miles or 120,000 kilometers across at its equator, and 68,000 miles or 109,000 kilometers from pole to pole. Until the invention of modern telescope, Saturn was regarded as the outermost of the known planets. The orbital characteristics of Saturn. Its equatorial diameter is 120,536 kilometers. Its mass is 5.7 to 10 power 26 kilograms. Its mean distance from Sun is 9.56 astronomical units. Its rotation period is 10 hours 39 minutes. Its solar orbit period is 29 years. Its surface gravity is 10.4 meter per square seconds and its temperature is minus 139 degrees Celsius. Saturn's rings. Galileo Galilei was the first to see Saturn's rings in 1610, although from his telescope the rings looked more like handles or arms. 45 years later, in 1655, Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens, who had a more powerful telescope, later proposed that Saturn had a thin, flat ring. As scientists developed better instruments, they continued to learn more about the structure and composition of the rings. Saturn actually has many rings made of billions of particles of ice and rock, ranging in size from grain of sugar to the size of a house. The particles are believed to be debris left over from comets, asteroids, or shattered moons. A 2016 study also suggested the rings may be the carcasses of dwarf planets. The largest rings spans 7,000 times the diameter of the planet. The main rings are typically only about 30 feet or 9 meters thick, but the Cassini-Huygens spacecraft revealed vertical formations in some of the rings, with particles piling up in the bumps and ridges more than 2 miles or 3 kilometers high. The rings are named alphabetically in the order they were discovered. The main rings working out from the planet are known as C, B, and A. The innermost is the extremely faint D ring, while the outermost to date, revealed in 2009, is so big that it could fit a billion Earths within it. The Cassini division, a gap some 2,920 miles or 4,700 kilometers wide, separates rings B and A. Mysterious spokes have been seen in Saturn's rings, which appear to form and disperse within only few hours. Scientists have conjectured that these spokes might be composed of electrically charged sheets of dust-sized particles created by small meteors impacting the rings or by electron beams from the planet's lightning. Saturn's F ring also has a curious braided appearance. The ring is composed of several narrower rings, and bends, kinks, and bright clumps in them can give the illusion that these strands are braided. Impacts from asteroids and comets have also altered the appearance of the rings. Late in its mission, the Cassini spacecraft traveled closer to the rings than any other spacecraft. The probe collected data that is still being analyzed, but it has already provided insights about the colors of some of Saturn's moons. In the gaps between the rings, the probe found unusually complex chemicals in the ring rain of debris falling from the rings into the atmosphere and made new measurements of the planet's magnetic field, which produces a powerful electronic current. Another important feature of Saturn is its moons. Saturn has at least 62 moons. The largest, Titan, is slightly larger than Mercury. Well, if you want to see my Mercury planet documentary video, then click on the top right. And is the second largest moon in the solar system. What I have told, Titan, which is Saturn's moon, is slightly larger than Mercury and is the second largest moon in the solar system behind Jupiter's moons Ganymede. Earth's moon is the fifth largest. Some of the moons have extreme features. Pan and Atlas are shaped like flying saucers. Lepidus has one side as bright as snow and one side as dark as coal, and Enceladus shows evidence of ice volcanism. A hidden ocean spews out water and other chemicals from the 101 geysers spotted at the moon's southern pole. A number of these satellites, such as Prometheus and Pandora, are referred to as shepherd moons because they interact with ring material and keep the ring in their orbits. Though scientists have identified many moons, Saturn has other small moons constantly being created and destroyed immediately. Now, what is the impact of Saturn on the solar system? As the most massive planet in the solar system after Jupiter, yes, Jupiter is the most massive planet in the solar system. It has its own very strong magnetic field. Well, if you want to see my Jupiter planet documentary video, then click on the top right kindly. As the most massive planet in the solar system after Jupiter, the pull of Saturn's gravity has helped shape the fate of solar system. It may have helped violently hurl Neptune and Uranus outward. Along with Jupiter, it might also have slung a barrage of debris toward the inner planets early in the system's history. Scientists are still learning about how gas giants form and run models on early solar system formation to understand the role that Jupiter, Saturn, and other planets play in our solar system. A 2017 study suggests that Saturn, more so than Jupiter, steers dangerous asteroids away from Earth. The structure of Saturn. Its core is dense solid rock. Its mantle is liquid metallic hydrogen and helium. Its atmosphere is molecular hydrogen and helium. Saturn's interior is similar to Jupiter's. Contrary to Jupiter, Saturn's density is lower, making it the least dense planet in the solar system as discussed before. Combined with its rapid rotation, Saturn becomes the most oblate planet in our solar system. Its equatorial and polar diameters vary by almost 10%. atmosphere of Saturn. Due to its lower gravity, Saturn's atmosphere has more haze than Jupiter's, with blurred features and colors muted into a general yellowish hue. The winds on Saturn are 5 times as fast as those measured on Jupiter. Saturn radiates 2.5 times more heat than it receives from the Sun, possibly due to the raining out of helium deep into its interior, creating frictional heat as the helium descends through the lower density hydrogen. Now, the last part, research and exploration. The first spacecraft to reach Saturn was Pioneer 11 in 1979, flying within 13,700 miles or 22,000 kilometers of the ringed planet. Images from the spacecraft allowed astronomers to discover two of the planet's outer rings, as well as the presence of a strong magnetic field. The Voyager spacecraft helped astronomers discover that the planet's rings are made up of thinner ringlets. The craft also sent back data that led to the discovery of 3 of Saturn's moons. Well, while talking about Voyager and Saturn mission, there was a 1980 encounter with Saturn of Voyager 1. If you want to see this, then click on the top right and jump onto the segment 3 minutes 48 seconds. The Cassini spacecraft, a Saturn orbiter, was the largest interplanetary spacecraft ever built. The 2-story tall probe weighed 6 tons or 5.4 metric tons. It helped identify plumes on the icy moon Enceladus and carried the Huygens probe, which plunged through Titan's atmosphere to successfully land on its surface. After a decade of observation, Cassini returned incredible data about the ringed planet and about its moons, as well as a photo recreating the original pale blue dot image which captures the Earth from behind Saturn in 2013. The mission concluded in September 2017 when Cassini, low on fuel, was deliberately crashed into Saturn to avoid the slight chance of the craft crashing into and contaminating a habitable moon. While there are no future missions planned for Saturn, Saturn is the planet. It is a gas giant, but scientists have proposed missions to probe the icy moon Enceladus or Titan because they are considered to be habitable. These explorations could involve submarines or modified rovers. So, goodbye from the ringed planet. Now I am here. Well, if you found this video somehow useful, informative, and also knowledgeable, then please support me. How can you support? You can just click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Hope that I will meet you in another informative video of my channel like that. Till then, stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.